Today I'm going to give some background information about Disneyland. I'm going to describe the history, the evolution of the park, and why it's aptly titled the happiest place on earth. After attending many parks and theme parks with his children, Walt Disney decided that he wanted to create a place where people of all ages could go and have fun together. According to JustDisney.com, Walt's original plan was to have the park encompass 8 acres next to his Burbank studios. Many fans requested to visit and tour the Walt Disney Studios, but he didn't feel like they provided enough amusement for the visitors. He wanted guests and fans to be able to be close enough to where the magic happened and have fun, but he soon realized that 8 acres would not be nearly enough space. Instead, he decided that the best location would be Anaheim, California, because he found 160 acres of land. If you know nothing about California, Burbank is in Los Angeles County and Anaheim is in Orange County, which is southeast of LA. Now that he found the perfect location, he would need the funding for his elaborate plans. According to DesigningDisney.com, not everyone was as enthusiastic as Walt Disney was about the park. A lot of people within the company, including bankers and investors, were strongly opposed to it. Walt Disney stated that he could never convince the financiers that Disneyland was feasible because dreams offer too little collateral. But he did not let that stop him. He was confident in his vision and started to gather the funds by himself. He even sold vacation property and borrowed from his own life insurance. He had the idea of a series called Disneyland and pitched it to many other stations, but they all turned him down. So he pitched the idea of Disneyland to ABC, along with a detailed drawing of the upcoming park. After they saw the drawing, ABC agreed to loan Disney $500,000 and guaranteed $4.5 million in loans in return for 1/3 ownership of Disneyland and a promise of a weekly Disney television show for the network. In the end, Walt Disney invested approximately $17 million into the park when it first opened. Disneyland's first day of operation was Sunday, July 17, 1955, which was exactly 1 year after construction began. The opening day was strictly for an international press preview event. 6,000 invitations were mailed to studio workers, construction workers, the press, and officials of company sponsors for the grand opening. But there were many complications. People made counterfeit tickets. They expected 11,000 people to show up, and approximately 28,000 ticket holders attended. The park was not ready in general. On the opening day, workers were still planting trees. Some areas still had wet paint, and the asphalt on Main Street USA, which is the first street you walk down, was poured that morning, and it was so soft that women's heels sank into the ground. There was a plumber's strike, and he had to choose between running bathrooms or running water fountains. He chose running bathrooms because he thought that was the obvious decision, but the public didn't agree. They thought that since Pepsi was a sponsor, he was forcing them to buy refreshments, but the restaurants and refreshment stands even ran out of food and drinks. Rides broke down shortly after opening. Mark Twain's steamboat nearly capsized from having too many passengers. There was a gas leak in Fantasyland, which caused Adventureland, Frontierland, and Fantasyland to all close for the rest of the day. But Walt Disney didn't even know this was happening while it was going on. He was too focused on the Dateline Disney Live broadcast for ABC. He wasn't even informed about everything until the following day, and he found out from the press's reviews. He fixed the problems immediately, and the press was invited back for a private second day to experience the true Disneyland. Disneyland Park was open to the public on Monday, July 18, 1955 at 10 a.m. Here, the park charged an entrance fee and an additional fee for each ride. This format continued until 1982, and after this you could buy 1 ticket for all-day unlimited rides. On opening day, Walt began broadcast with his iconic speech. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, within the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world. Walt Disney intended for Disneyland to be the happiest place on earth from day one. I know every time I would visit Anaheim, whether it be for a volleyball tournament, Disneyland, or just for other various reasons, I would always love the feeling I got when I was there. It was as if I could feel the magic in the air just solely from being in the same proximity as Disneyland. I would be in a better mood, and I felt nothing but happiness. But little did I know, years later, I would be living 10 minutes away while going to college. Now that's magic. Disneyland never settled. They always wanted to expand. When they opened, they had 5 themed lands, including 20 attractions. These lands were Adventureland, Frontierland, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, and Main Street USA. According to USA Today, within the span of 1962 to 1969, 4 more attractions were added. These were Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, New Orleans Square, and Pirates of the Caribbean. In 1973, they added the iconic Main Street Electrical Light Parade and Bear Country. In 1977 and 1979, Disneyland's 2 roller coasters were added, which are Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. In the 80s, they added Captain EO, which was a 3D Michael Jackson movie, Star Tours, which opened on the 10th anniversary of Star Wars, and Splash Mountain, which is a water roller coaster. In the 90s, Mickey's Toontown Adventure was opened, which was targeted toward the younger audience, and Indiana Jones Adventure was open, which was a thrill ride. In 1998, Tomorrowland was renovated to give it a more modern feel. In 2001, they added an entirely new park adjacent to Disneyland, replacing their old parking lot. This park was called California Adventure, which replicated some of California's most iconic landmarks and nuances. In 2006, they remodeled Pirates of the Caribbean to incorporate more of the likeliness of the films. They added characters from the movies, including Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. In 2007, the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, which was an underwater submarine adventure and one of the original rides from opening day, was transformed into a Finding Nemo ride, sticking to the underwater submarine theme. And to this day, Disney continues to upgrade and expand their park. In the near future, they will be adding a Star Wars land, which would be Disney's largest single-themed land expansion ever. It'll be 14 acres big. A fun fact is that Disneyland is the only park out of all the Disney theme parks around the world that was created and ran by Walt Disney himself. In 1965, they began working on Walt Disney World in Florida, but he ended up dying in 1966. They opened the park in his honor on October 1st, 1971, and Disneyland parks continued to expand internationally. In 1983, Disneyland Tokyo opened in Japan. In 1992, Disneyland Paris, also known as Euro Disney, was born. And the latest park that has opened is in Hong Kong, and that opened in 2005. Walt believed in his vision, even though many may not have, and he found a way to make it happen. He didn't let anything stop him, not location, finances, or even the crazy disasters of opening day. Walt Disney once said, "Disneyland will never be completed as long as there is imagination left in the world." Disney created Disneyland from dreams and imagination, and that is why it has been so successful for so many years. He never wants that to die. He wants the magic to continue forever, and I believe that it will.